Well, welcome to another Guns Contractors video. Today I am at the Bauma trade show in Germany, an absolutely crazy place, and I've seen some footage of some people who have been here already. I'm kind of coming here midweek, and the machinery here looks like it's on another world. Absolutely crazy. So looking forward to having a look around. I don't even think we're going to get around half of it, let alone all of it. It's set over about 15 different halls, of which I'm walking through now. First thing in the morning, so it's pretty quiet at the moment, but the show isn't quite open yet. But the real exciting stuff is outside. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what's here, seeing really what's big at Bauma, because, you know, I'm kind of fed up with these mini diggers. Jobs are taking too long. I think it's time to see what we can sort of upgrade the fleet a bit, get something a bit bigger, and maybe I can find a machine here at Bauma that might improve my productivity a bit, you know. So just sort of fed up of working with teaspoons. It's time to get real. Right, first up, Hydrema 926G. This is competitor possibly for a 4CX.
Big fuck off tires.
Massive bucket, way bigger than is a 1.7 cube.
Yeah.
On the bucket, so that's bigger than the 4CX. The tires are bigger than the 4CX. We're on 650s by 26.5. That's very nice. Full auto lube system. It's absolutely lovely the way they've integrated it into the screen here. All down here, prop shaft, good access. Apparently all the hydraulics are behind this cover here as well, which just makes it nice. Mud guards, look, that extend out to the wheels. This is a nice touch, we like that. The tyres are absolutely huge. Another nice little feature, it's got a fridge that you can just see in here, which I love it. And a inbuilt fridge, 2 cup holders. Very, very nice. It's an awesome machine. Full light package as well up here. Obviously central stabilizers, which then mean you've got a fixed arm. No extender on this, but it does reach 6.2 meters, which isn't far off a JCB 4CX. But the key, there are 2 things here. One, of course, you can run the tilt rotator. Weighing in at 9.5 tons, this machine, she'll handle a 209 tilt rotator. This one's direct mounted. But the key here is this king post setup. So this acts like the side shift. You can swing it over to one side and it'll act like a side shift. So if you're digging up against a wall on this side, but you can also swing it this way, angle your machine as it is, and then pretty much like the back arm will come sort of round here and almost load your own front bucket. You have to look online to see pictures of these things contorted like that. It's unbelievable to understand the positions you can get. But something we've noticed, it's really, really short. Like the wheelbase is, well, obviously it's cranked, you know, turning this way, but very, very short wheelbase. Not a lot bigger in dimensions than a 4CX, but it is a much bigger machine. Like the whole thing, you know, how many wheel nuts it's got and stuff. It's really nicely built. Bit of a lack of toolboxes. We don't think there's much going on in the way of toolboxes. Not much going on in there.
That's our fuel.
Bit of a shame. You got AdBlue as well. Yeah. Over here, that's nice and accessible. Don't know what the diesel tank is. Exhaust is quite nicely packed away. That's quite nice. See, that's not like in your visibility. But I mean, it's an articulated loader really, so it's going to steer a lot differently to a 4CX. But what do you think? Could I rock down the road with one of them in the UK? I might run some cyclists off the road, but what a contender. That is an absolute beast. So Case have now bought out Komatsu, and all of their mini machines are essentially rebadged Komatsu machines. We've got the CX24D here, which comes in at 2.5 tons. It's based on what I would call like a 1.8, 1.9 ton sort of chassis. It does have expanding tracks a little bit. They do come out a little bit, which is quite nice to see, good for access. But the key feature here, which is pretty cool, is this tab boom, which you've seen here is this real tight configuration. That is an absolute weapon of a little bit of a setup, and so rare to see Nicely piped. I've sat in the cab. Visibility's pretty good, to be honest, through there. This quick hitch hose routing is awful, but we'll ignore that because they fit these things on for shows. But otherwise, lots of oil down to the dipper, as you'd expect. Decent work light setup. I quite like these like twin light bars as well. There's a lot to like about this little machine. And in the cab, nice comfy seats. You know, there is a bit of a cup holder at the back. Not too much going on. Dozer levers close to you. Decent little screen for your fuel. There's a lot to like. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Yeah, I can't wait to see a few more of these about, really. I mean, I don't know what the spec is with a tab boom, but that with a Encon ECO2 or something on the end is going to handle it really, really nicely. And overall, just being not much bigger footprint than a kind of 1.9 ton digger. And I bet stretched out, you get a lot of reach from that, way more than you would with a 3-tonner. So, yeah, max reach at ground level is 4.7 meters. It's impressive. Yeah, nice little machine. So what I love about Bauma is the small details, and we were just talking about quick hitches on another machine and the hose routings here, and this one's far from perfect with some of this going on, but really, really nice detail of having the valve on the inside there. That's like well out of harm's way, really. But the nicest detail is coming out here. This is an extra little bit of protection, steel as well, that they've welded on to get to this pin here. That is a lovely little detail that, well, we both just saw it and thought, yeah,
amazing,
like that.
Yeah.
It's the details, not all about the big stuff here, although it's about the big though, isn't it? It is about the big stuff.
It is for Ollie.
It is about the big stuff. For me, obviously I'm in the market for a 1,000-ton machine, but also I quite like that.
Yeah.
Okay, continuing on the Bauma backhoe theme, this is Case's offering. I've seen a little bit of these, played a little bit. Similar sort of front quick hitch to the way JCB go, maybe not quite as tight, but yeah, pretty nice. I do like the fact that the radiator here pulls away when you open the grille. I think that's a nice touch. Axle gets quite thin at that point, a little bit thin. I think this does have the thin tyres as well, which make it not look that great. In fact, it's on, I think it's on some cross plies, 16x9s or something. It's hasn't got the widest stance, bless it. AdBlue and fuel are nicely accessible up here, but also kind of in the way of your door when you get in. But getting in and getting into the seat, we'll get ourselves in here. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, there's some things to like, as there always is. You've got a speedo in front of you. The dashboard's pretty simple. There's lots of like legroom. In fact, there's loads of legroom in here. That is something that they've done quite well. It's a nice wide cab. Your console obviously is off to the side. Handbrakes to hand. You've got forward and reverse shuttle on the levers. But that is of course only on your loader lever, because it only has you know, old school controls in that there's your lever, and you have to spin round, he says, trying to find the button to do so. There it is, it's on the left. You have to spin round to access the ones at the back, where you then have these joystick pods that you can bring down. And again, I can't remember exactly how they work. They kind of come in to you a bit. It's all a bit clunky, to be honest. It's probably easier if you actually knew what you were doing, but you can then bring them in. Actually, here you go. You grab that here, and that brings them into you. Doesn't help I've got my bag on with me. And then you can adjust them. So you can get quite comfortable quite quickly, and it is easy to move these in and out for sure. But other things I found about them, like the controls are very plasticky. There is a little rocker switch on here, but it's really cheap, and there's even like a gap in the plastic and stuff. It just haven't quite got it, sadly. Dual ram to do the slide across, and it's got a similar kind of boom to the way that Cat and Mecalac do it, etc. Which is no bad thing, you know, different ways. Huge ram, definitely going to have lots of power out of that. Haven't driven one in anger as such, but quite a lot to like. Something I did notice, and I will show you if I go back out. I can find the lever to turn myself around again. Other things just to mention in the cab quick, we've got a great storage cubby hole in here, which this one won't open, but there is one. Decent cup holder there, and a decent storage bin over here, and more storage down here. So lots of storage going on. very basic radio and stuff. But you know, these are small sort of details, I guess, the little things that differentiate you between one brand and the other. But if I come out the door and we just have a look around at the back here, I thought this hose routing wasn't great. Like having a lot of, it's very easy to get material here with a backhoe, and I just thinking all them hoses coming out there, to me, that's certainly an area that I've marked on my backhoe, and having stuff here, and I don't know, to me it didn't make the best sense. You've got removable rear lights, so I guess that stops you damaging them, because you can actually remove them from here and put them up here. That's kind of a funky idea. I guess it does stop you damaging them, but yeah, just kind of things. Said, I think these rams stop visibility into the trench a bit, especially when they're extended out. But you know, there's some other bits to like as well. It looks a very well built thing in terms of like the metal work. There's a lot of metal in it, but you know, side exhaust as well. I think it's a bit dated. I don't think you could put this up really against the modern offerings from Cat and the modern offerings from JCB and think that this is, it just doesn't, to me, quite have the same amount of features. Obviously it's missing dual drive, it's missing all kinds of things, but yeah, I just think they're almost still really, it's a remodeled backhoe from the 80s, and maybe that's no bad thing in a lot of ways, but yeah, to me, certainly in this spec as I see it here, it's not as impressive as some of the other machines we've looked at today at Backhoe Bauma. Okay, so quick view in the cab of the new Revo truck. So the Revo backhoe, you've got decent switchgear down here, smooth ride, what you'd expect, the level feet function as well, because they can now do leveling to the front bucket over there. Screen is here, nice little windows here. This whole front window actually opens up as well, so of course, because you're facing the back sometimes, you're facing the front, the window opens, so you can actually talk out the front. It's quite a nice feature. Little cup holder on the side, not too bad. Decent, really deep storage bin here, which is also cooled or obviously heated depending on what the heating's doing, and you don't need to look over the back of you, so because of course the whole cab rotates round. What I do like is these joysticks. The new Rexroth joysticks have got these little buttons on that, unlike them being all rubber where they wear out, these have actually got a little plastic cap as well, so that's a really nice little feature. The rollers are a little bit lightweight, I'd have to say, but they've also got a bit of a feature on the back of them, so I'll show you, like on the back here, there's a roller here as well, which is it's quite a nice touch. So yeah, there's a lot to like. If I can get the thing to go around the other way. Yeah, forward and reverse on here. Yeah, it's nice. Obviously this all lifts up, and you've got half decent visibility, I think, all around you, which it's an interesting idea. Obviously this is a bit of a, it's still a bit of a prototype machine. So four-wheel steer, very similar to the 4CX really, in terms of its performance. Back end they say is a little bit more powerful. Of course it's got like Cat, the cranked boom, but just the weird thing is the whole fact that this cab obviously rotates around. It's a really sort of different idea. The only thing I would say, visibility to the front bucket gets compromised because the cab itself isn't that wide, and therefore you can't really see down this sort of traditional gap that you could see with a normal JCB, but really good visibility over the bonnet because you've got that slope bonnet design. They've done really well with that, and yeah, it's similar size bucket. It's a really interesting idea. I'd love to try one. Yeah, I think it needs a bit more tool storage. I think we've only got a bit of storage here. There's some ideas, there's some little bits of finishing to do, like the cab's a little bit wobbly at the moment. I don't know if you can see that, but they're saying they're going to refine that. There's a bit of refinement to do in the cab, but I mean it's a totally new look, isn't it, on the machine, that traditionally, you know, no one really has done that kind of idea. Don't spin the seat, spin the cab. Is it too complicated? It's a good question, but certainly an interesting machine. Great to see it here. Right, so I found the maybe the new machine for me, for guns contractors, possibly, just because I'm looking to go really big here and I'm fed up of digging with mini diggers. This is like one scoop stuff. So, some specs of this thing, the PC7000. I haven't had a price yet, but it's got two 1250 kilowatt engines. It's got a 50 cubic meter bucket, and I think I saw somewhere that it took 1,300 litres of fuel as well, which I think will do it for, I don't know, a shift and a bit. So yeah, I think this could be the new machine. The only thing is that this little toy in front of it is a 390, which isn't a small machine in itself. So just the scale of this thing, I can't explain how big it is. Absolutely mad. I'd try and walk you around the side of it. I mean, there were some people there getting pictures with the bucket, but it is absolutely ginormous. This section here is that's all radiators, that's all just cooling pack. There must be, I don't know, 10 foot of them. It's got two engines. Were they? Yeah, dual V8 engines, because one V8's just not enough. And let's see if there's a scratch on the counterweight.
Oh yeah, I bet you.
Yeah. Hopefully you can do a serious bit of grading with that counterweight. That is absolutely humongous. I think you could stand against the tracks and you wouldn't reach the top. It is huge. Look at the tracks here in relation to the 390 behind it. What a machine. I definitely need one of these things in the fleet. Do you reckon you get this behind a 3.5 ton pickup?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no worries.
Behind a Navara, no problem.
Yeah. That is crazy.
I pulled mine with a Maverick.
Oh yeah. What? You get a 326 tilt rotator on there, maybe? For grading, fine grading?
Yeah. You might need an R9.
You might need an R9. Absolutely mad. So just for a bit of context, this is a 950, which is a big machine, don't get me wrong. It's a big digger. But it's not a big digger when you look at this thing over here. It's just, you can't even really see it because it's behind all the generators and stuff. But it's honestly, it's making this thing look like a 20 tonner.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. This is a big machine. In fact, here is a 20 tonner.
Yes.
Here's a micro digger. This is the PC220 micro digger from Komatsu. This is their medium range. This place is off the scale. Anyway, plenty to buy from. As you say, rubber pads maybe on these tracks, and yeah, we could probably take this bad boy to Chelsea. Right, so obviously we've upgraded the excavator with that PC7000, and the 1.5 ton weights is just not going to cut it anymore. So we've come to Liebherr just to find something a little bit more suitable, something a bit better matched, and I think. Yeah, 240 tons of capacity is gonna really help us with a couple of extra scoops, in the back, and up that efficiency for guns contractors. So, yeah, this absolute beast is a huge truck. I can't even describe how big it is. Let me have a look. This bit here behind here is just fire suppression, which probably weighs more than my entire machine. It is absolutely ginormous. It's got its own ladder to get up to the bit where you drive it.
And a robot to plug it in.
Yeah. It's also electrically powered, and it was 3.2 megawatts of power, which is a hell of a beast. That is absolutely mad. So this is Kubota's U17-5, which I'm looking at, and I can't see a lot really different from the Dash 3. They've gone with the better LED light, but again, we haven't got them up here. There's a screen here, which is kind of out of their other. There's the Dash 4 machines, which wasn't there before. We did have a dashboard over here. That's changed. but I'm really struggling to see what's dash 5 about this U17, which is a shame. I mean, it was a good machine, really good machine, really well rated, and there's no doubt that they're very well regarded, especially in the utilities market. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not seeing the dash 5 about it. I thought we could do a bit more, and I worry that the seat has been downgraded. Actually, it looks like a slightly cheaper seat. They used to fit a nice high back seat to them. It looks like we've gone with a lower seat. So yeah, not sure on that one, to be honest. Just found this little bad boy on the Hitachi stand. I mean, a 23U, it's not that exciting, but look at the trailer. You've got toolboxes, and then this quite clever little lock-in hitch system here, which of course stops you having to tie any of the boom down. I think that's like really, really neat. Yeah, I quite like that. The trailer looks pretty heavy. It looks really well built, but of course no good for me trying to carry the most I can. But yeah, I think that's a really, really neat solution. That kind of a funky little bucket as well on S30 back here. Sort of a really, really strange shape. I don't know how much you'd really get in that. Look how like narrow it is at the back. It's like super narrow at the back. It's almost like a V-dig bucket here. Yeah, made by Kintoffer. Interesting. 70 litres they reckon, which is 30 less than my one, I guess. Yeah, interesting idea though. I like the trailer hitch. It's pretty cool. I find myself in what I could describe as a forest of piling rigs. Honestly, this show is absolutely nuts. Look at this thing here. Can't even see the top of it. What an absolute monster. Huge. If you think Sani aren't trying, they definitely are. This is all they're building. And here is more forest of piling rigs. What do you think, Robert? Want to buy a piling rig?
Yeah, I think I'm going to need a couple more million.
So continuing on with backhoe Bauma, this is the Hydromek equivalent of a 4CX. Of course, a machine I'm very interested in. They do look quite nice in white. A lot of sort of JCB features about them. But I've never actually tried one in the dig, really, to see what they're like, what they're about. Let's have a look in the cab here. Sorry, just putting the beer down. So obviously that's the first world problems at Bauma. The cabs are absolutely massive. So they feel really wide, and you've got loads of room.
Hey, there's a pedal in the back.
There is a pedal. That would be for the extra dig, surely. Oh. But you've got like this whole obviously pedal to lock your thing, but also when you spin the seat, which I think is on my, yes, it's got the kick pedal down here like JCBs have. I think it turns, see how it lifts that up automatically? Which is like quite a nice little feature. I think that's unique to them. The other thing they've done, I think, is raise the steering wheel up so that you don't get this clash with the joysticks, which is a nice touch. Anyway, loads of footroom as you come round, and then you're just in this. Look, I can stretch my legs out and not touch the window. Cup holders. Yeah, there's a lot to like, but you are quite a long way back from the action, I would say, and sometimes you want to be a bit more forward to see into the trench. But there is, there's a lot to like in here. Things are quite well laid out. Yeah, it's a tidy machine. Second cup holder. Obviously, we do like a cup holder. Yeah, you can get comfortable pretty well. The only thing I will say is it feels a lot wider here, so visibility down to the front bucket is reduced, but it's not terrible. Not terrible. You've got a little screen here. Yeah, it's nice. They are a nice thing. I do like the blind. The sun blind is a nice touch. You can get rid of that like that. That's quite nice. You don't have one on the back, sadly, but there's a bit of storage up here. Probably get a slightly bigger, thick crusted sandwich up there. Your radio and stuff, but they are both sides. So yeah, it's a nice enough machine. What do you think, Robert?
I think we need to go to Mecalac to see the backhoe turning cab.
I've already seen that one.
Have you?
Yeah.
I think it's brilliant.
It's nice. They're nice. I'm not sure on the fork design.
Yeah.
being in the bucket so much. Like that would be where material would be for me, and they'd be kind of getting a bit like covered in stuff. But yeah, this one obviously doesn't have the, I don't think it has the quick hitch either. So difficult to compare exactly, but yeah, it's like anything, it's sort of horses for courses, isn't it? But this 1CX equivalent, little Hydromek tracked skid steer thing, the K4 they call it. It's a really cool looking machine. I think they're design wise, like they've got it really nailed. And the windscreen up here, you can see how it's like curved over the top. So you've actually got more visibility there, which is a really nice touch for when you're loading lorries, because obviously you do need the full reach on these things to get into a little wagon and stuff. So yeah, that's a tasty looking bit of kit that don't often see them around. So cool to see. So this machine here, just for any kind of scale, there's 50 ton on that slice there. There's 90 tons just here. A further 60 ton here. And it is absolutely massive. I mean, you can't imagine how big this thing is that I'm stood next to. It actually dwarfs the Liebherr 9400, which is big enough anyway. I mean, look at the size of the track roller. Just, you know, mad. How many of these you buying, Robert?
Yeah, I don't think those are in my budget.
No?
No. You know, one size smaller, maybe. Lay some sewer with it.
Yeah. Yeah, they got the short stick for the Encon option on this one. It's quite tasty. It's just huge, the links on it. Yeah, I need a new track link.
I think they do an oil quick coupler.
I think I'll do anything for you if you buy one of these. They definitely get us some extra beer and some champagne, I'd have thought.
Yeah.
But I heard that they've done a deal with this in the mining truck, and they've sold £3 billion worth of dumpers and excavators at the show. 3 billion. One deal.
Someone's gonna have a lot
you
of
get
champagne.
more than a free hat with that. What a massive, amazing bit of kit. You probably throw the crane in for free. Huge. So we've just been looking at some of these EMA buckets. This is a new design. It looks very similar, but they've extended the front piece just a little bit. And then you've got this spill guard here, which still allows you to see your pins, which is a really nice design. They've even closed in the gap between these wear strips. They reckon that makes the material flow better. It is a gorgeous looking bucket. Obviously Hardox where it's needed. Yeah, lovely stuff. And they're even saying about this cable bucket, which is a kind of Scandinavian thing. But yeah, really, really long toe on it. Looks absolutely brilliant. Lovely looking buckets. All sorts of things to see here at Bauma. Yeah, attachments, buckets, massive machines. Just love the details and speaking to these guys. Yeah, they really know their stuff. It's cool to see. So Encon say that you can't have EC oil on an ECO2, but here it's oil quick on an ECO2. So it is possible to have hydraulic connectivity on an ECO2. Now it is a little bit bigger on this section here, but it's still pretty cool. And it just shows on a 6-hose setup, as this is set up now, which is a pretty basic system really, using the excavator's own controls, that it's possible. It's a direct mount. Yeah, very nice. ECO2 with oil quick. Well, sadly my Bauma experience has got to come to an end. I could stay here all week. It is just a mad place. There is 15 halls filled with everything you'd want if you're into tunnelling, if you're into scaffold propping and concrete products, if you're into like attachments, crushers, just you name it, like it is all here. Absolutely mad. Everything and anything you could want. Hydraulic fitting services, companies that make this kind of stuff. you just can't. You can't see. People say, "Oh, you can't see it all." There is no way you can see it all. It is. It's unbelievable. Trying to find my way through the crowds. Apparently, Saturday here gets absolutely crazy, which yeah, I won't be here for. Sadly, got to go back to work tomorrow. Bit of a shame. It'll be a bit of a shock to the system, having basically walked around and drank beer, looking at massive diggers for the last 3 days. So yeah, exceptional. Really big thanks to iDig for giving me this opportunity to come out here. It's been great anyway, getting more hands-on with the new products, because obviously that is something that I run myself and I'm always interested in. Potentially having in my company, trying to work out how we can run one maybe on a backhoe, because I really miss my iDig on the 3CX. So yeah, we're I need to remember where the hell I'm going. It's a problem with this place, you can get lost really easily. So yeah, I've seen things that I never thought I would see. We were just looking at, yeah, as you'll have seen in the video, an oil quick S30 Encon ECO2, which is just like a mad idea. But it exists here. Equally, you could go and look at a 700-ton machine. Yeah, there is everything you could ever want here. If you ever get the chance to go to Bauma, I can't recommend doing it enough, really. It's yeah, it's a crazy world. Where do I want to go? I need to be in the 2 area. Trying to get to A2. That's what I mean about these halls. There's just rows and rows and rows of halls. Anyway, it's been great. Hopefully I've captured some of it. I mean, I've had some great conversations with people. I've met people from around the world, some of which I've met before, some I haven't, a lot of them I've followed for a long time, and it's great to see people like me, different corners of the world, and how we all work, kind of similar, kind of different. We've all kind of got the same thinking, you know, way of thinking. So yeah, awesome experience. And I don't know, another 3 years before I could come back. I think if I do come back, I need to be even better prepared, and I need to be really thinking about what I need to see, what I want to see, and need more time ultimately, because yeah, just absolutely crazy. You see, I'm just walking through the section of scaffolding. There's a whole hall dedicated to peri-props, or I would call peri-props, but concrete stuff and scaffolding. Yeah, mental place. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. I've got to somehow find my way home now. Well, I've got to get back to the iDig stand first, get my bag. Then we've got to work out the trains to get home. But yeah, until then, hope you enjoyed what we've done. And yeah, catch you all later. Thanks.